Maul or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to the Maul or Nothing team of the round, the penultimate round of the Six Nations. Let's hear it from the boys. Ryan, Max, who are we starting with? Let's start in the front row with you, Max Laheef.
Great place to start, by the way, in the front row. Love that. Yeah, okay, team round 4, go.
We're going to start off with the unsung hero of the Italian front row, the great Danilo Fischetti. Incredible work rate. He's an undersized loosehead, but my God, he gets about. Mighty mouse of props. Phenomenal athlete. And number 2, we have England skipper, the consummate footballer, hooking dynamo that is Jamie George.
He could spread his legs a little bit, couldn't he? He was there on the shoulder.
He does all right, doesn't he? He can shift, big fella. He had big influence in that historic win over the men of the Emerald Isle. And then at 3...
By the way, sorry, Max, I know I'm sorry I keep butting in, but and on that, what a lovely little post. You see, he put up of he said, like, oh, she would have loved that about his mum, because there was obviously a lot of talk around his mum passing away and, like,
condolences to the
crying the boys. But,
I know.
he stuck up a post, and I was like, oh, that was class. So, yeah, I like that. George Turner, honourable mention. I thought he played very well for Scotland, even though they lost to Italy. Oh, God. Mentioned that again, but George Turner would have been up there, but we'll stick with Jamie George.
Number 3, we have the shadow that is Uni Antonio. What a freak. He had that Welsh pack on toast, didn't he? He was bending it. He was contorting bodies in the front row. He's been on impressive form. He's been one of the kind of the bright kind of sparks of that French team that's still struggling a bit to fire.
I'll be picking the second rows, boys, 4 and 5. Now, it's difficult because we've got a few back rows that we would have maybe pushed in Jenkins and Chesham because they haven't made it into a back row, I don't think. And they're obviously out and out second rows, but played on the 6 and they did a very good job. But second row for me, George Martin brought back in for a bit of firepower and he was good. He was very good.
He looks hard, he looks messy. Yeah.
I like He's a big old man. You know, sometimes you can just tell the size of the man by their head. I wasn't going to say... But his head's big. He just looks like a big man mountain, and he carried well. And then I've always been fighting his corner. Federico Rozza, he for Italy, understated player that never gets the love that he probably should. And
do you know
out, brilliant player.
You know Rozza. Whenever I see him though, when the camera locks in on him, like the close up, it always looked like he's really, really worried about something. He's like.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's always freaking surprised at something.
So there you are, 4 and 5. The big man with the big head, George Martin, and Rutzer, the surprised
assassin. He's got a skull like a pit bull, George Martin. Fair play.
6, 7, and 8. Well, we know which 8 we're putting in there, don't we, Max? Talk to us, because people are saying he's not an 8.
He is the most delicious, most voluptuous 8. The only thing that matches his explosiveness is the sourness of said man. It is the Earl of Twickenham himself. And what a boy.
Yeah, he's worth just throwing in what he's been doing. He's a leading carrier in the Six Nations on 62. He's the second for meters carried in the whole competition, which is kind of mad, right? James Lowe has 371 metres. Ben Earl has 349. The next highest forward is Wales number 8, Wainwright, who's 18th with 212. So all the rest are backs, and all the others in the top 8 are outside backs. So absolutely incredible from him. And the most defenders beaten in the Six Nations on 20.
And for anyone listening to this, I'm guessing they listen to the podcast, but if they haven't, go over and listen. He also made 26 more metres than all of the Irish forwards combined. That was 14 forwards for Ireland combined in the game. He still made 26 more metres in terms of carries. So what a shift by our old mate from the podcast. We're going to 6. Well, he didn't play 6. He played 8, but Vincent for Italy. We've spoke about Jenkins and Chesham.
Delivery man. Mate.
Yes.
Mate, how good. Like, he's just... He's very, very dynamic as well. Like, usually picked at 7, but again, like, ball in hand, he's a problem. Like, a real nightmare. He's selling big issues out there. A real nuisance.
Yeah, he's got the wheels. Your pizza's not going to be cold with that fella around. And then our favourite, again, the man that was on the show a couple of weeks ago, Mitch Lamaro. He is up there for the most score. Mark, give me some stats on him because he's up there.
He's the most tackles made in the Six Nations, 82. The next best is David Jenkins with 67. He's made 7 dominant tackles, the most in the whole tournament. Interestingly, no turnovers though, but obviously the rest of the team are kind of giving them that because Italy are second for breakdown steals. But he is, he is unstoppable, unplayable, and that number of tackles, insane, right?
Captain, fantastic. So we'll make him captain of our team as well, especially with the passion. Did you see him lifting the Katita Cup? I know I shouldn't have been happy about it, but if there was a man you want to see lift it, it was him. After the great late Massimo Katita, who was my scrum coach at Glasgow, believe it or not, and Scotland. Fucking legend. Right, number 9, Max.
Ronan Le Garrick, a.k.a. Monsieur Incroyable. Incroyable. Monsieur Incroyable. Yeah, he was very good.
Even if it was just for the round the back pass, ooh la la, he just threw that one out, the old 40-metre ball out the arse. But he was incredible for France. We're going at 10. This is going to be difficult, by the way, 10, because we're struggling. I'm going to throw out Garbisi, even though... mate, he needs to sort out his kicking team. First kick of the game, the ball falls off the team again, Max. You're like, come on. Like, he must be having a laugh. Must be winding people up. I couldn't believe it. The panic. We told Montiani in this week's episode, get him to sort his fucking kicking tee out. But I'm going Garbisi. Have you got anyone else to throw in there just to argue over?
Nah, my heart says Garbisi, but I think special mentions go out to George Ford. Obviously, there's been a lot of gripe about his goal kicking, but the bloke was pivotal in that win, architecting that win against Ireland. And then, obviously, Jack Crowley in the losing side of that Ireland team. People were asking like how was he going to behave when that Irish pack was struggling. I thought he played very well indeed.
But we're giving it Garbisi, right?
We're giving
number
it to
10.
Garbisi.
Garbisi. Oh, in the centres. I mean, our mate Ollie Lawrence turned up, didn't he? He was pretty special, but I can't go away from Brex and Menoncello. That centre partnership for Italy was something special. It was something special.
Menoncello made 47 metres after contact in that game. He beat the gain line on 75%. Of his carries, and he's done that throughout the tournament, and he has a 50% dominant carry percentage, 6 dominant tackles, so he's joint second as well.
Partnership made in heaven. It was nearly as good as Hua Pilotu. What can we give that? Brexicello.
Brexicello. Yeah, that works.
Brexicello. There you have it.
Lean on Brex.
On the wings, I'm throwing straight in there Feo Wabuso. He got his start at HQ. It was a wonderful thing to see, but the man is special. Feo Wabuso. I like to see him play powerhouse, like just fights his way through contact, and definitely deserved to be in that starting 15, and deserves to be in our round 4 starting 15. So Feo Wabuso for me on one wing. You pick the other.
Oh, the shiny Charizard that is Damien Penaud. He was back to his classic self, just classy, setting up tries, making impossible breaks out of zero space. He was very, very va-va-voom.
Worth saying that in a tournament that we've probably spoken about him the least over the last few years, considering the heights that he has scaled. But he has, apart from Ben Earl, who is untouchable for the most defenders beaten in the Six Nations on 20, Penaud is on 17. He's second, and that shows what a player when he's not on form, he's still casually beating
perpetual
defenders.
class.
Yeah.
And listen, at 15, everyone moaned when the old bomb defusal unit was kicked out, Freddie Stewart, but this bloke's come in, Furbank, and there was a lot of questions around him, but he put in a shift, didn't he, Max Furbank?
He did. He was instrumental in a lot of England's attack, and I think it showed very much in how they played. That'll be the debate, won't it? Be like they're just very, very different players. You got the sort of safe, security, incredible positional player, Freddie Stewart, and then you have the effervescence of George Furbank, and it was nice. It was refreshing to see England with ball in hand and running with zeal.
Well, there you have it. So for those of you that don't agree with any of our choices, go and drop a comment in below, and we'll maybe come back at you. But for those of you that are here, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, which is Maul or Nothing Show. We need you to subscribe, and we'll be giving you more and more of this lovely, wonderful content where me and Max just give you teams and make a load of shit up. Mark, have you got anything else to add?
Words have not been said, right?
No, that's it. Perfect way to sell it. Just you guys making shit up. Brilliant. Thank you all for watching.
More or nothing.